Hey, good morning everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the video timeline so we can use it for animation in Photoshop. It should be way more effective than the frame animation that Photoshop also offers. So I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to make a new file. This is just an example, so I'm just going to say example. Don't worry about these settings. Each project will have its own specific settings. So I'm just going to use what I have. Okay, now in here, let's go down to timeline. Earlier, again, we used create frame animation. This one, we want to create a video timeline. So make sure create video timeline is on. I'm going to click on that, and then it gives us this bar at the bottom. I'm going to use this slider at the bottom to zoom in. Whoops, a little too much. There we go. And now we need to adjust some settings in the timeline. So if you see when I was moving this slider, that next to it, the frames per second is almost 30 seconds or 30 FPS. We want to change that by going over here. There's like a little sandwich button, and we want to go to set timeline frame rate. We want to change that. Again, depending on the assignment, it's either going to be 12 or 24. For this example, I'm going to do 12. And then click OK. You can tell if you actually did this correctly by looking at this little corner. It should say 12 FPS. I'm going to make this a little bigger again so you can see the timeline. And I'll explain what this is in a bit. Actually, I'll explain it now. This is a regular layer, kind of like what we used for the frame-by-frame animation. You can make regular layers. Again, here's the layer panel. Down here, you can click on this layer button, create regular layers. I'm gonna just delete those real fast. But to be really effective in this video timeline, we want to make a special video layer. So go up to the layers panel up here and click on layer. I'm going to go down to video layers and then new blank video layer. New blank video layer. I'm going to click on that. And before we do anything else, go back to layer, go to video layers, and interpret footage. Okay, we want to make sure that this is also set to 12 FPS. If you've changed the settings down here, hopefully it's already automatically 12 FPS, but it's always good to double check. So you want to make sure this is also 12 FPS. Again, this will vary to depending on the assignment. But yeah, let's try to stick with 12 FPS. Now a video layer, oh, one more thing. Because now we have the video layer up, we can do a few more settings. These settings were not clickable because we did not have a video layer. So we want to also enable onion skin. So I want to enable onion skin. I'm going to go to the onion skin settings. Personally, opacity, I like having it at 15%. It'll vary depending on the animation, but I like 15%. And I'll show you what that means. Oh, and click on this button if you want to see where you actually put down drawings. With the video layer selected, let's get some drawing so I can show you how it works. Because we have the enable shortcut keys, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard, your left and right arrow keys. If you look down here, you can see that I'm moving it around. You should be able to do the same. So let's start at the beginning. I'm going to switch up my colors. So now you should be able to draw. Use the arrow key, draw, draw. Now you can see how the onion skin works. If I go back to the settings, if I make this like 50%, You can see how it changes opacity. If I make it 0, 100, yeah. So maximum, minimum, opacity. And let's see. Let me check my notes. Oh yeah, the last thing I want to show you guys is why we still have a normal layer. So normal layers are great if you want a background. So let me get my normal layer, and then I know a few more of these tools. I've used Photoshop before. So let's say I want a solid floor. Well, because I put that on the normal layer, which I want to rename BG for background. Now when I move my animation, the background will stay where it is. So if you're just trying to practice maybe doing a flowy dress or flowy hair, you can draw your person, keep them in place, and then draw whatever you need. I know one of you guys had a cool design with a bow. So if you use this background, you can draw your person, draw whatever hairstyle, and then if you only wanted to animate the bow, you can make a video layer and then animate the bow. So that would be pretty cool. And I think that's it. Let me check my notes one more time. Yeah. So again, the takeaways, I would say, make sure that these settings are enabled. You want timeline shortcuts if you want to use the arrow keys, auto grouping clips, enable onion skin, and the timeline frame rate settings, 12 FPS. Again, this will vary on the assignment. But yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you in the next assignment.